Husband, 23M, has been paying for girls' OnlyFans. My husband, 23M, and I, 22F, have been married for 2 years. Recently I found out he was paying for OnlyFans through his bank account. We have a joint account and I check our account often because I like to track our expenses. When I confronted him about it, he told me his friend had asked him if he could use his card because he couldn't use his own personal one. I never in a million years thought my husband would pay for such things, so I stupidly believed him. Fast forward a month later and I see the same payments. Once again I confront him and yet again he said it's his friend's account, so I told him to text his friend and ask him to send him the money that was charged. Turns out he was lying about letting his friend use his card. I end up finding the entire truth by myself because I couldn't believe anything he said. Turns out he had been paying for girls' pictures, and not only that, he personally knows 2 of those girls and I know one of the 2. He spent $50 paying different girls for subscriptions. Too long, didn't read. He has had an OnlyFans account since around June 2019 and he had also told me he didn't know any of the girls, which wasn't true. Edit: I would like to add that I myself am not huge on watching recorded romance. I probably haven't watched much or at all since we got married. I just didn't feel the need to, so I don't know much about how it works. Some of you were nice enough to educate me that it's better for him to pay than to watch free stolen content, and I would like to say I 100% agree. I hadn't seen it that way, but I get what you guys mean and I'm sorry if I offended anyone. Not for this relationship because he obviously is a liar, but maybe for the next I will be willing to sit down and talk to whomever I'm with about recorded romance expenses. I am still not okay with the lying and paying for people he personally knows, which is why I will not be going back to him. Again, thank you for the clarification.
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
You're 23, get out, now. This is the point in your life where 2 paths are still present. You're like Neo. One path takes you into a future with this same man, doing this same poop forever, and you never being happy or trusting. One path lets you live your best life. At the least he's a liar. At the worst he's a cheater. In no way does he come off good in this. He knows it's wrong or he wouldn't have lied about it. Me, 28F, with another mom, 45F, on the playground. Slept with her husband, 46M, in April. Only he told me he was divorced and I found out they are still married by chance. In April of this year I went out to a pub for dinner after work. I got a little silly and began chatting with the gentleman on the bar stool next to me. We talked about our jobs, our relationships, both divorced, where we lived, etc. He was cute. I thought we were both single, so when he invited me over I made sure I had condoms and thought nothing of it. We had fun, and I never spoke to him again. Cut to now, I have made a really great friend on the playground at my daughter's school. We have a good time chatting and her kids enjoying playing with my daughter. We talked about our jobs, our relationships, me divorced, her married 15 happy years, and the kids. On Halloween as I was walking through town with my daughter I bumped into her 2 littles, and the husband I had yet to meet, the man I ducked in April. My mom friend registered the shock on my face and thought I was surprised at her costume, so I played it off as that, but no, I was staring down her husband, who was equally as shocked to see me. I really do not know what to do here, and this is just ducking absurd. I have no proof other aside from the testimony of the bartender, who checked in with me before I left with him to make sure I was okay. What exactly should I do here? Because I feel like I should tell her. I'd want to know, and I'm also sad that I know I cannot remain friends with her either way. Too long, didn't read, random hookup turns out to be new friend's husband. What do? You won't be able to keep the secret being a friend of hers. Also, if you consider her a friend would tell her what happened. Poopy situation all around. Sorry, I, 27M, had been with my now ex, 27F, for 10 years. I proposed last week during a trip to St Lucia. She told me she'd been cheating, /relationships. How does one move forward after a decade being with someone then getting screwed over in the worst way possible? Sorry about the title length, it just sort of came out. I had been with Carrie for 10 years, best friends since we met at the age of 12 in high school. We had tons of amazing memories. We've traveled to several countries together and made long-term work for 3 years while separated due to studies. Though now I'm having trouble believing anything was real. Last Thursday I proposed to her in St Lucia, not in front of anyone mind you, I wanted it to just be private. She didn't say anything and I was thinking, oh poop, did I say or do something wrong? She started crying and said she had something to explain to me. She didn't want to marry me because she'd been sleeping with the coworker she said was just a friend for around 3 months. She said she rationalized it was just a thing that would pass, but it's continued, and she said she loves me so much, more than I'll ever understand, that I've helped her so much and she doesn't even know why she has done this. She said she loved me too much to marry me knowing she'd done what she did. She doesn't love the guy. It was just romance and she had been trying to stop the affair, but I proposed before that happened and she said she knew when I was kneeling that she couldn't marry me, not after everything I'd done for her, so she told me. I feel like my whole world has shattered. We had an awkward flight home on Friday evening and haven't spoken since. She has tried calling me but I haven't answered and I have until Monday off, so I'm just here. I've barely eaten. I feel like there's a black hole in my stomach draining everything I have mentally. I can't wrap my head around the fact that she was cheating, that she lied, that she hid it from me. My sister apparently had some words for her. I'm trying to pretend I'm okay but I'm not. Every morning that I've woken up since last week Friday morning has just been bleak. I love her so much but I've no intentions of getting back together. I don't think I would ever be able to trust her again, much less forgive her, for a very long time. My best friend brought a 6-pack yesterday and we drank in the evening. I cried my eyes out in the shower last night. I never cry, not even when my mom, who I was extremely close to, passed away. But I was sobbing like a child last night, and honestly I would have loved if my mom had been there to tell me it'd be okay. My sister brought over some breakfast this morning and basically made me eat because she knows I haven't really been eating lately, zero appetite. Anyway, I'm sorry this post is so incoherent. Any tips for someone on how best to move forward and where to go from here? Because I've got nothing, no ideas, no clue. I feel like a zombie. Too long. Didn't read. Girlfriend of 10 years admitted to cheating for the past several months when I proposed. We're done but I have no clue what to do now. My life revolved around this woman for over a decade. She was my rock and my everything, and all that just was peacefully deleted a little under a week ago. This might sound harsh but I mean it with the best of intentions. Be thankful that this all came to light when it did and not when you two were married. Use this time to explore life and indulge in your hobbies and interests. It's very painful when a loved one betrays us, but you need to remember that you have a very bright future in front of you. Don't waste it on someone who didn't respect you. Perhaps when you're feeling up for it, organize a nice night out with friends and family. Try not to lock yourself in a room and dwell, as that will only make you feel worse.